it's Micah. Welcome to our Monday reaction series. I'm all over the place on whether I'm going to call it the Monday reaction series or not. Bear with me. But what we're doing allegedly on Mondays is counting down all the Hot 100 Billboard #1 hits of each calendar year. On Mondays, we are going backwards from the present. We started several months ago in the year 2023, the most recent year that ended, and we have worked our way all the way back now to 1995. And the #1 song of that year was Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio, who tragically passed, was it last year? I think it was last year. It could have been 2 years ago by now. Featuring LV, who's the vocalist on the track. I don't know much about him. I don't think he had much of a solo career outside of the feature on this song. But this was, of course, a huge hit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be listening to it today. I was surprised to see that it has over 1 billion views on YouTube, which is way more than any of the most recent #1s that we've looked at over the past few weeks. It's been a while since we've had a 1 billion view one, and since we're working further into the past, getting to the 1 billion view club gets more impressive the further back in time you go. I don't know how many of those views were racked up after Coolio's passing, but something tells me that it was already doing quite well on YouTube prior to that. It's a song which has, for a song that was featured in a movie, the movie itself has since sort of become a pop culture punchline of sorts, and that was the movie was Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, and I actually haven't seen the movie. I think that it was a pretty decently made movie, but it's become one of those white savior type movies which has fallen out of favor, and it can be seen to be somewhat condescending, depending on the lens through which you view the film. But there's no denying the riveting nature of this song. I mean, it's been years and years since I've heard this all the way through, so I'll be interested to see what new things I pick up this time around. This is Gangsta's Paradise.
Tell me what this is all about.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying to chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta know. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangsta's paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the street, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Been spending most of their lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We've been of them ain't looking what's going on in the kitchen, but I don't know what's cooking. They say I got to learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they front. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool. Been standing most of their lives, living in a gangsta's paradise. Been standing most of their lives, living in a gangsta's paradise. We keep standing most of our lives, living in a gangsta's paradise. We keep standing most of our lives, living in a gangsta's paradise. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me?
The only thing new that I really picked up on this listen was a better understanding of the lyrics, because the video was captioned and I was able to actually read out everything. Although Coolio does a really good job of like enunciating and saying all the words. There's certain things, certain individual words that maybe were a little bit unclear to me or I just wasn't paying close attention. So it's interesting to actually see them written out, which I have not seen before. That's really the only new thing, because this song is simple and it's intense, and that both of those things work to its advantage. There's a simple, propulsive, and dramatic rhythm to the song. There's the goth, this what I'm hearing anyway, this goth choir singing in the background, and the producers of this track knew that was a strength of the song, that was a sort of a hook in the song, as evidenced by the fact that they cut down all of the rest of the tracks and it did actually 2 whole cycles of the background vocals just by themselves to close out the song. And then there's obviously Coolio's rap, and then there's the vocal part from LV. There's maybe 5 really strong, intense, simple components of this song playing off of each other, and each of them are uniquely dramatic. And because the drama and the tension in the song is so well focused, and each of these elements are dramatic in a different way, it just comes across as a really strong emotional track, and it was that sheer emotional power that's conveyed in this arrangement that I think everyone really keyed into, and what made the song such a big hit. I mean, it's still a very compelling song all these years later, nearly 30 years later, and yeah, it's one of those tracks that when it comes out, it's almost like, why did this song not always exist? It just seems so fundamental in the way that it conveys the emotion that it conveys. So a really, really well produced, well thought out track from that perspective. Where I would be a little bit critical is in looking at Coolio's lyricism. Coolio was never known as the best rapper. The fact that he was rapping in the same era as people like Ice Cube is not helping his, I'm trying to think of, well, I'm just gonna say the Ghetto Boys because I can't remember which group member it is that I particularly thought was a particularly good conveyor of life on the streets. I guess all of them really, and that's one thing that really came to mind. Like putting this track up against Mind Playing Tricks on Me, there's a difference there. There's a sort of a difference in the immediacy of the lyrics. The sound of this track is great. The lyrics, some of them just kind of miss by a little bit, and I don't know how to really talk about that. It's just they don't seem quite as convincing. They don't seem quite as well crafted for the maximum emotional impact. Coolio's delivery really, I won't say saves him, but it really, that's the strong part of this that makes this a riveting track from the standpoint of just the rapping. It's not so much the lyrics. The lyrics are conveying this sort of stark kind of reality, but they aren't. But it isn't particularly evocative, particularly descriptive. It's I'm 23, don't know if I'll live to be 24. That's a compelling line. But it's also not incredibly original. That's sort of a distillation of a long running joke of how old are you? Well, you're 23. Well, do you want to live to see 24? It's not something that's like entirely original, but in the context of the song, and again with his delivery, it does come across as very powerful. But Coolio was more so known, this song notwithstanding, as a party rapper, and so it was great for him to shift gears and do this song. I don't really know much of Coolio's catalog other than the 4 or 5 singles that were reasonably big hits, so I don't know if the party rapper vibe is unfair, or if this really was one of his only forays into super serious subject matter. Sad to say, I really don't know a lot about his catalog, but from what I remember about his other songs, it's not like he was holding back some degree of lyricism here that he displayed in other tracks. I think for Coolio, it was really more about the delivery than it was about the lyricism anyway. And he had a fun, bouncy kind of delivery that worked really well on the party songs, and he put it to good use in this song as well. So that's what I have to say about that. Next week, we will be looking at the number 1 song of 1994. Consulting notes. Next week's number 1 is the number 1 song of 94 was The Sign by Ace of Base. Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing that again and giving my evaluation of that. In the meantime, if you liked this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, and please make music better.